Well, this is a channel made by beavers. They are pretty skilled little animals, and they make these channels from the lake or body of water that they're going to use. And it goes right up to their little beaver lodge. As you can see how it goes up to the logs there, that's their little lodge. And they even use the mud that's in that little channel to put their logs in place in the lodge. And here's another one. This little pond used to be a really big pond, but we've had very little rain and very hot summers for the last few years, so it has really shrunk in size. So there's just a little water left. On the other side you can see a little channel where they were trying to build a little lodge into the bank. They might have succeeded there. Can't really tell. But there are a lot of tracks here, and some of them could be beaver, but I see a lot of coyote and lots of bird tracks. But there are badgers, squirrels, and little rabbits running around in the bush, in the forests here. Sorry about my shadow, my long shadow, but the sun is behind me so that I don't have to have so much brightness into the video. But all this little channel here is made by the beavers, and they use that to get back and forth from their food source back to the water and where their lodge is built. And they've got a lot of little channels going in and out. And if there were enough water in the pond, the ice would be up on top and the beavers could go through their channel. And in the summertime especially, they can use those little channels. But they're very, very good swimmers. They can pull a big tree behind them swimming through the lake. I have seen them do that. Pretty amazing. Very hard-working little animals. Another little channel going off to the other side of the pond. The other side of the pond is full of little channels also. And above on the bank, you can see lots of big trees that they have taken down. And they take the outer bark off, and then the inner bark is something that they strip off and eat. And then they bring the smaller branches to build their lodge, and they also stuff a big winter pantry under the water full of sticks and branches, logs, small logs that they will use for their food source in the wintertime. So lots of little birds have hopped along here too. You can see all the animals that use it. You don't see that in the summer, but in the wintertime after a fresh snow, you really see how many animals come and go. Those little striations, the little grooves in the snow, those are made by birds' wings. The tips of their wings, the feathers on their wingtips, touch the snow when they either take off or land, when they come down to pick something up to eat. You can see how long this channel is. They do a lot of work, pile up the mud on each side, and then of course use some for their lodge and their dam. See where the little birds hopped along. Coyote tracks and other tracks. There's another set of bird wing marks. It's just an amazing sight to see. I remember when my sisters and I were quite young, we went into one of the sloughs and walked through the little beaver channel. Of course, there was water in it, and we were just bare feet. We didn't care if there were bugs or worms in the bottom, snails, whatever lives in these little ponds. It was just a kind of a really interesting activity to do on a hot July afternoon. In the summertime, when there's water in the ponds, the little bulrush and reed plants are just green throughout the pond. There's lots of food for muskrats and the beavers, and these little areas, especially with the rushes growing and the willows, are very popular with red-winged blackbirds. They like to nest in rush areas where the bulrushes grow, cattails. So this is just part of the little pond. On the other side of the fence, there was more of the little pond with water. Hopefully there'll be some significant snowfall this winter, and we'll be able to see some water in the pond again next year, next summer. There has even been sightings of bears playing around in this pond. I'll try and post a picture of one of the bears that was having fun last spring in this pond. So that's our little tour of the beaver pond and the channels they make. Hope you enjoy it. And if anyone would like to see some other kind of natural thing that happens here in Alberta, if you let me know in the comments, I will try and see if there's an area that supports that kind of activity. See if I can do a video there. But for me, it's a really nice little way to get out on a sunny afternoon and enjoy some of nature. I did see a very interesting nest built in some of the willows here. I'm going to just put a video up of different nests that I've seen here in Alberta. It's interesting in the wintertime, that's when you can see the nests. In the summertime, when all the leaves are on the trees and bushes, those nests are so well hidden. There's the cattails. And back up into the prairie grasses. Goodbye, little pond.